Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How is everybody feeling? Good. So this is a 5-on-1 class. So this is not a 1-on-1 class. So how many of you have been here for at least 90 days? Okay, who has not been here for 90 days at least? You've not been here for 90 days. Okay. You have not been here 90 days in Primerica. If you have been here, the reason is I'm not going to be speaking 101 language. So if you are looking to be offended, this is not a class. You can leave. I want to be very straight with you. Now, how many of you here came because you want to be very clear that what you want to achieve is financial freedom for you and your family? How many of you? Okay, good. So would you like me to be straight with you? Or would you like me to like pussyfoot around, tiptoe around? What do you
No pussyfooting, sir.
No pussyfooting. Okay. So how many of you know my background? I've been a business coach for 16 years. I've published 9 different books. And Ian hired me because he wanted to put systems in place in his business. And he wanted to be held accountable. That's how our relationship started. He came to a couple of my seminars and decided that, hey, you know, this guy, if I pay him money, he'll help me out, which I did. And that's where the system started. That's where the CDs and all that kind of stuff started. So I'm a very much simple guy about business. In business, if you do more often, you'll make more money. Kayla, would that be true? Josh, would that be true? Right? If you do more things more often, you will get better results. And in our business, it's not complicated. We talked about this on Friday about being the best business opportunity. How many of you were present when I talked about that? Okay? So the question is not whether this works. The question is not whether you can get results. The question is very simple. Are you going to do the things which are necessary long enough to get results? Is that simple enough for all of us to understand?
Yeah.
Now the roadmap is provided already. Hector Lamar created the 7 fundamentals. If you were on the full-timers call on Friday, Josh Christian went through 8 steps because John Levin added the last step, which is about promoting people to go to rallies. But the bottom line is very simple. The complicated nature is somewhere between our heads. How many of you agree with me? So how many of you would like to know the 2 simple things to build this business? 2 simple things.
Yes.
Not too many people excited. So let me ask again. How many of you would like to know the 2 simple things to grow the business?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like participation, right? Why?
The activity.
Because your brain doesn't function if it is not actively participating. If you want to really grab information, you got to be participating. So here's the first one. Overcome your fears. That's the number 1. Overcome your fears and improve your skills. That's it. You do those 2 things, your business will grow. Now that applies in every area of your life in general, but overcoming your fears and improving your skills will grow your business. So at any given point in your current place you are either having too much fear or you haven't paid enough attention to your skills. It's that simple. So never ever complicate this business. So at any given point you're saying, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not growing at the rate I want to be, ask yourself, is this fear or do I not have enough skills?
That's good.
Because if you have both in place, you will make money here. So for those people who fear is going to stop them, they'll at some point stop coming here. Why? Because they don't even know fear is stopping them. Here's how fear looks like. It's uncomfortable. I don't feel like it. They're not really interested anyway. I have other things going on. Those are all different ways of saying fear. Has anybody said that? Yeah, we all have, right? I'm in the same boat as like you are. And I believe in teaching through analogies. So you know what I'm talking about, right? So analogies, I'll use 2 of them. The first one is exercise. So for example, if you want to get in better shape, Chris, what do you need to do?
Exercise more.
Exercise more, right? Now, how many of you know you should exercise more? Okay, very good. I don't know why Chris is raising his hand. Don't you exercise enough already? It's like, come on, Chris, if you exercise more. Anyway, I'm already jealous of your body there, so. So when you have exercising, right? So when you know you should exercise, what shows up? For those who don't exercise regularly, what shows up? What happens? What do you say to yourself?
Not tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, again, excuses are fears. Excuses are just fears. There's a different word, but it's basically fear. So I can do it tomorrow. Okay, what else do you say to yourself?
I'll never be that good anyway.
I'll never be that good anyway, right? Okay. But basically what happens is you have an image of you which is not consistent with somebody who exercises and has a great body. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So when your image of you is not consistent with who you are trying to be, right? Somebody who exercises regularly and somebody who looks like that. Guess what? Fear will stop you. Always. 100% of the time. So where do you need to work first on? Having an image on yourself, about yourself, that you can be who you want to be. If you don't have that clear enough, I call that emotional gap. I call that emotional gap. What is emotional gap? Emotional gap is emotionally you can't see yourself as the person you want to be. That's what it is. There's a gap between who you are today and emotionally feeling that. So how many of you feel uncomfortable that you would be speaking in front of a group of people, right? Some of you. How many feel uncomfortable picking up the phone? How many of you feel uncomfortable maybe winning trips or actually achieving certain results in this business? Like having a lot of money in your bank account. And that is the first place you need to work on. So I applaud you for being here because every time you come here, you are decreasing that gap. Every single time you come here. So the day you miss out is the day you're actually going to be going backwards. So if you want to start the exercise routine and you miss a day, guess what happens? It's harder the next time. Because every break makes it harder for you to follow through. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Because what takes over is fear. And the fear simply says, hey, you're not good enough. That's what the fear bottom line says. You don't deserve it, you're not good enough. Anybody have that conversation in their head?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the conversation you and I need to work on. The only way you overcome that is to be around people who have a different conversation in their head. Their conversation, like Ian's conversation. Like most of us would look at Kayla and say, hey, 30 days later, how can you do that? Well, her conversation in her head is different from what your conversation, and even my conversation, right? I didn't do that in the first 30 days either. So ask yourself, are you committed to overcoming your fear? That's the first question. If the answer is yes, you will do things slowly and surely, uncomfortable things. So last week, Tuesday, just because I can choose to, I went to Niagara Falls along with my family. Now, I wanted to stay overnight one more night, but Tuesday night is meeting here, so I said, I'll come back. Okay? So what happened was, my daughter wanted to do zip line that is right next to Niagara Falls. It opened 2 months ago. Now, how many of you have done zip line? Okay, good. How many of you are afraid of heights? Quite a few, right? So I'm afraid of heights. Correct? But guess what? I did not want to be the person not doing that. Right? My wife was willing to do it. My 8-year-old boy was willing to do it. My 13-year-old girl was going to do it. It's not going to look good too for me to not do it. Does that make sense to all of you, right? Correct? So what did I do to prepare myself? What did I do to prepare myself? What did you say? You're being sexist? No, okay, just I didn't hear the comment. I thought you said girl or something. So anyway,
Do you want me to be sexist?
that's a sexist, right? Scream like a girl is a sexist comment. I'm sorry. Some of you may get offended, right? So here is how I prepared myself. What I'm telling you is something you can apply to yourself. Here's what I did. I went on YouTube and found video clips of people who have already done it. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I went and started watching a few days before we were to leave, watched every single night video clips of the announcer the first time that he broadcast in the local news. That guy went over, a few other people went over, and I counted. It's like less than a minute and a half. And then I looked at people spreading their arms, some twitching, and so I watched it repeatedly. Why did I watch it repeatedly?
Get over the fear.
Yeah, because I get comfortable with what actually takes place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, are you playing in your mind a preview of the lifestyle that is coming? Or are you playing the flashback of the life you want to run away from? Do you understand that? If you're not playing the preview of the lifestyle you want in your mind, you are going to be uncomfortable about your future. So every day, how much time do you invest in having that preview of attractions in the future? If you're not spending enough time, your brain is not comfortable with what you want. Do you understand what I'm talking about here?
Yes.
Right? And that applies in every area of your life. I was single and I came from a culture of what? Basically, we don't have dating in our culture. So hey, you meet, 30 minutes later you decide you're getting married. Yeah, exactly.
Parents
And
decide.
it still happens in India. So trust me, my nephew is getting married in January, guess what? He met this lady, boom, decided they're getting married. All done, right? Okay. I didn't want to do that, so I had to go through the uncomfortable process of asking a girl out for a date and stuff like that. Anybody else being uncomfortable about that? So imagine this, no background in this, okay, starting late in the game after 25, right? Trying to do that. You know what I'm talking about, right? But I've been married now for 24 years, happily, but the process was not comfortable for me. So that's what I mean by analogies. I talk to you about, obviously, heights, I talk to you about exercise, and I'll talk to you about dating. Because any of these have fear associated. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
So ask yourself, how committed are you to overcome your fears? Because if you are, you will do the things over and over and over which are uncomfortable. Like going across the zip line was uncomfortable. Guess what? I made it comfortable because I knew I wanted to do that. The rewards were worth it. So how many of you feel you deserve to lead a lifestyle where you can be anywhere you want to be when you want to be? How would that look like for you? Okay, good. Now I'm not at Ian's level, so I want to make sure I make that disclaimer up front. But I did spend three months in Florida. I could. I'll actually be gone for 4 months next year. Why? Because I want to. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The reason I want to share that with you is if you do not have that image in your mind, can you ever accomplish it?
No.
Who are you talking to who has that lifestyle, and are you looking at you deserve that lifestyle and it should happen to you? Because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen to you. If you don't start really focusing on it, it's not going to be happening to you. This is the first important lesson, is overcoming your fear and focusing on the future you want instead of living your life through the rearview mirror. So how many of you are going to be every day, some way or fashion, you're going to focus on a life that you want instead of a life that you hate? Every day. Are you spending time writing your goals, listening to some recordings, watching certain video clips? Like before I decided to go for 3 months to Florida, I was watching Disney and Universal videos every day. Every day. Why? I needed to program my mind that I believe it. My wife didn't believe it, my children didn't believe it, but the only person who needed to believe was what? Me. So when that happened, my daughter, this is the first week we were at Daytona Beach, and we were walking on the beach during the day, right? So my daughter said, I don't even need to pinch myself because I'm living the dream. Would you like your 12-year-old girl to say that? Walking in the sunshine on a sandy beach. How clear are you about what you want to accomplish? Like for me, it's very clear. I want to be where I want to be when I want to be. That's it. That's my choice. And I will do that for the rest of my life. But unless you have that clarity about what you want, for me, it's not big boards, cars, or any of that stuff. Like somebody was asking, Dinesh, why don't you drive a Lexus? You can make enough payments for it. That's not important for me. What's important is, if I want to go to New Zealand, Australia, India, or anywhere else, I can go. Now, I'm not at the point again where I'm an SVP and all that kind of stuff, so I have less freedom than what Ian and other people have. But it's more than most people would have. Like I said on Friday, my friend who works for GM said, Minesh, the CEO of GM cannot do this. I said, I know, but I live my life for me, not for other people, right? So how many of you are going to stay committed daily, consistently, in order to achieve your dreams? Can I see your hands? Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, good. So now that we have covered the first part, which is fear, what I want to go over in a very quick manner is that we have a roadmap in this business. They're called the 7 fundamentals, and you can have 8. So now we talk about the skill set. The first fundamental is what? What is the first fundamental? Huh? Mental toughness is the first one that you should master, right? Correct? You need to master what? Mastering fundamentals. The first one is going to be always what? It's going to be from some shape or form is mental toughness for you. What is that? What does mental toughness mean? How do you know somebody is mentally tough and somebody's not? In this business, right?
Push through your fears.
Push through your fears. Okay. What is an example of that?
I would say consistently.
Okay. Consistently.
Setting and going out 3 to 5 every single day.
Okay. That's a good thing. Consistency breeds mental toughness. Here's a simple way to look at it. How quickly after getting a no can you set another appointment?
Bounce back rate.
How quickly after getting a no can you set another appointment? The quicker you are, the tougher you are. The quicker you are, the tougher you are. Right? Okay, good. So let's go to the other parts of the skill set part of it. The first skill is what? Prospecting. Adding names and numbers. Now, how many of you here know how to get, and we'll just use a number here, 5, can get 5 names and numbers on a daily basis consistently and have a track record of doing so? How many of you? Raise your hand. Clearly, 5 names and numbers every day. Raise it clearly and keep it. Okay, great. Very few of you. Very few of you. Now, how many do you think you can get more money in this business, make more money in this business if you didn't master the skill? You can't, right? You can't. So write down on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being you can't even get 1 name and number, and 10 is you can get as many names and numbers that you want on a daily basis. Like there is no limit to the number of people that you can call. So rate yourself from 0 to 10 and turn to the person next to you, so you can always find a partner, and in this group you can say 3. Turn to the person next to you and say, what is that number? On a scale of 0 to 10.
What is that number?
Okay, so let me give you a clue. Okay, so in this business, and actually any selling business in general, you cannot succeed without learning to prospect and mastering doing it daily. You cannot. So if your score is not anywhere close to 8, 9, which means you are bringing 5 names and numbers a day or more. 5 I would put at 8. 5 names and yes, go ahead, Jessica.
Hey! I can be loud down here. I was too loud up there evidently. I'm announcements tonight. I
We thought we did it, but we got some
with
better
my
ones.
high energy.
Yes, go
We
ahead.
did announcements already.
No, Jesse
You
did
already
that.
did
so-
announcements? No.